Humans aren't born out of laying around on their asses. We've been born out of conquering a world. We're the dominant species. We built all this. We're powerful and we're beautiful and we're ready to build the next level of civilization in God's plan. But you must stop bowing to those who want to make you a victim. You must become the victor. If you love God and you want to build a pro-human future, then you are an enemy of the New World Order and Satanism. They want us shut down because we have the Spirit. I'm jacked into the source. I know the secret, and I want to see you empowered. But you have to believe in yourself first. This is the truth, and everyone knows it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I cannot emphasize to you enough how important it is to be able to be a gracious and humble individual when you're in the public light. Because your words and your actions are hyper scrutinized. And if people feel that you're somebody that is not a person of good morals or good standing, that may affect you in a certain way. But there is something beyond that. And the thing beyond that is when they see that you're somebody that has outright contempt. You're not just mildly rude. You're not just mildly arrogant. But you are so arrogant. And doing so on the back of something that isn't yours. This is what we see a lot of the time from celebrities. That there's a project, there's a character, they're being given that character, they're being given that opportunity, and they could knock it out of the park. They could do a good job in the movie. They could show the audience that they have a lot of grace and goodwill. They could be good-natured about everything. They could take the criticism in stride. They could compliment people. They could create a perception of being a likable, down-to-earth, decent person, which would go so far. But these people, did you say these people? Yes, these people, and by these people, I mean woke Hollywood women. Woke Hollywood women. And by the way, that has nothing to do with race. You know, Rachel Zegler is, Hispanic, Colombian. Brie Larson is as pasty white as anyone. Jennifer Lawrence. There are many different people that engage in this. And it's just such an unflattering, unappealing character defect. So here's on the right side, you have the poster for the upcoming Wicked movie. The poster looks terrible. It looks absolutely terrible. Her facial expression, her eyes, everything is just... It's what you would expect from Hollywood. It's just slop. It doesn't feel like there's any thought put into it. The picture on the left is an artist fix, basically. So they took something that was otherwise ugly and terrible and decided to add in a little artistic flair. And I think they did a very, very good job. And they tried to capture the mystery and the allure of the original. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of Wicked, but I can acknowledge that it's massively, massively popular. And people really do like it. So I would like to see it do well. I would like to see the most faithful adaptation be brought forward. But this is what this actress, who nobody has heard of this, I've not heard of this person, maybe I'm an outlier, I've never heard of them. But here's what they had to say. This is the wildest, most offensive thing I have seen, equal to that awful AI of us fighting, equal to people posing the question, is your blank green? Which is actually really, really, really funny. That's really funny. The original poster is an illustration. I am a real-life human being who chose to look... The thing with these more low IQ individuals is they tend to take it hyper seriously, which is, I am in my like women energy and I'm choosing to look directly at you. It's like, bitch, you're playing a character. You're not looking down the camera, or at least you shouldn't be. It should be the character that's looking at us, and we don't want to see the character because in the original trailer there's far more mystery, there's far more mystique. But you, being that you're a narcissistic bitch, decided that you're going to antagonize and belittle and berate and try to, gin up some kind of victim narrative when there isn't one. If you weren't a dumb, classless moron, if you weren't such an egotistical retard, you would have seen that the one that they altered was better. And you would have just said, wow, I really admire the fan base. I really admire the people that are going out of their way to, make art for this. I can't wait for you to see the movie. That would be assuming that you weren't, 60 to 100 points in IQ below the average deviation. You decided to turn this into something that it didn't need to be for no reason. Got a lot of bad press, a lot of bad. I wouldn't be doing a video on this. I don't really care about, Wicked. I think it's great, but I think it's great that people like it, rather. But this didn't need to happen. You did this all because your ego was hurt. You thought, oh, I'm going to look directly at the audience and they should just be glad. No. Nobody wants to see your face. Nobody wants to see your face. You're ugly, so first of all, you're not much to look at. But even still, even with you being as ugly as you are, no one wants to see you looking almost like this deadpan, like dead eyes, just blank expression look. No one wants that. Why would you want that? Why would you want that for your movie? A substandard piece of promotional material. And here's my advice to Hollywood. You need to start putting in your contract something that protects you from idiots like this. This woman is an absolute moron. She's one of these, rah, I'm in my girl power energy, bullshit, crystal voodoo, goo-goo, my star signs are aligning to, embolden my female energies. It's like, you need to have something in place to protect yourself, because there was no bad PR for this movie until this, this reptile, the snake. I mean, look at her. She has the same thing with as Jada Pinkett Smith. She just looks like a snake. It's like, what is it? Do black women think this looks good? It looks hideous. It's like people have a natural, like, reluctance to be anywhere near a snake. You look like a snake. You look like you look like you're about to molt. So anyway, my point here is that you need to start putting into the contracts that someone's going to manage their social media, or at the very least, that they have some kind of restrictions on what they can put in their tweets, or what they can put on their posts, or what they can say in interviews. You need to start heavily restricting these idiots, because if you don't, they're going to do a lot of damage. They're going to do a lot of damage, and all of it for their ego, and all of it pointless and meaningless. Because this woman is going to be forgotten in T-minus, I don't even remember what her name is. You look at the picture on the right, and you look at the picture on the left, and anyone with a functioning brain can immediately tell which one of these is better and which one of these is worse. The one on the left is just infinitely better. I'm not saying it's perfect, but it's like the lips contrasting the skin, the hiding of the eyes, the smirk. Everything about it is just far more interesting, far more compelling. And to try to shame people for pointing that out, I think is just ridiculous, to be honest. I think it's ego. I think these people don't understand. And when I say these people, I mean these women in Hollywood. Now, some guys do it too. Some feminine men do it. But it's largely a female thing. It's largely an ego thing. Jennifer Lawrence, Brie Larson, this lady, Rachel Zegler, Amanda Stenberg. A lot of these women just can't handle any sort of criticism because they're in their I'm gonna be the one to defeat the critics. I'm gonna be the one to fight the power. I'm gonna be the one to do this. I'm gonna be the one to do that. And it never works. Because you're never gonna beat the critics, because at the end of the day, and this must really chap your ass. But the truth is, you work for me. You see, this is what you don't seem to understand, Snake Lady. I don't need you. I don't need you. You need me. You need me and a whole lot of other people to go watch your movie. You need to sell them on the idea that this movie is worth parting with their time and money. I don't need anything from you. You could become homeless and, never have another job again. And I wouldn't know, and I honestly wouldn't care based on your attitude. That's your problem. And you seem to think that it's the other way around. You seem to be under the delusion that I need you. But how could you be that stupid? How could you be that foolish? You know perfectly well that the dynamic is that you create entertainment for us. We don't create entertainment for you. We are not here to serve at your beck and call. So, my advice to you is to know your role, be grateful for what you have, be grateful for the opportunity, and to shut your fucking mouth. To be quiet, to be silent, to have a good nature about you, if you're going to say anything at all. Sort of like, with Disney, if you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all. That is the correct approach. If you're working with a company, if you're working with a franchise, the reason why I can be so brazen and upfront with what I say is because I built this brand. I built up this whole thing by myself. So if I want to burn it to the ground by saying something offensive, I can certainly do that. But you didn't make any of it. You are a guest in somebody else's home, so you do not get to remodel the Airbnb. That's how you need to view it. You are renting this. You are renting this place to stay for a little bit of time. And if you're a very, very good tenant, you may be welcomed back. But at the end of the day, if you're a bad tenant, you're just going to get blacklisted and people are going to forget that you were ever a thing. And that's the reality of it. So, that's my opinion on this, ladies and gentlemen. Just more of the same. Ego, narcissism, just dripping in this arrogance, wanting to blame fans and hate on them, and it's offensive. It's offensive that somebody took time to Photoshop the shit thing that you and not your studio, but the studio behind the movie put out. It wasn't a good poster. Somebody fixed it. You should be grateful. In fact, you should be contacting them saying, "Hey, would you like a job?" What you should have done is you should have taken a bunch of the artwork online and done like a montage for an ad. Like, people are so excited about this. Look at they're making these these memes and these pictures. They really want to see this movie. You could have taken it as a win. Instead, you come off as an oversensitive, just ridiculously narcissistic person. And I just think it's pathetic. Anyway, that'll do it for today's video, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate it. I'll see you next time.